Welcome to the Music Pro Services podcast. Building confidence as a musician is what I'm going to be talking about on this episode. The biggest misconception of confidence is that you have to have confidence before you perform. I like to think of it that it's the other way around. You have to perform to have confidence. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today and guiding you through of how to actually build confidence. So this is why a lot of musicians actually lack confidence because they think of it in a different respect. So you have to have confidence to be able to do this or to play this riff or to play this song or to sing like this. But in actual fact, you need to be practicing, performing, rehearsing, and be sure of yourself of what you're doing and what your capabilities are at that particular time. So you can move forward to actually develop yourself, not only from a perspective of playing or performing, but in a perspective of confidence and what I'm secure in doing with what I'm doing at that particular time, whether it's singing, playing, or even spoken word. So what is confidence actually? So many people think that confidence is a trait. It isn't. So, and this can be argued, I know, but from my own experience, and I've been in a place where I've had no confidence to having an abundance of confidence. Confidence is evidence of that you can do a certain thing, right? So if your experience shows you that, you know what, I've actually played this and I'm quite all right with it, or I've sung this and it's come out all right, well, I can do it again, and I probably can do it again maybe better or with a bit more with a bit more technicality or emotion, or however you want to see it. But no one starts off with confidence, especially playing in front of a crowd. There's always that jitterness and always that anxiety of whether I'm going to get this right or wrong. That plays with your mind. So confidence comes from actually having these experiences, practicing, playing in front of these people. And it doesn't matter if you make mistakes, because that's what you learn from. In actual fact, that's going to actually make you a better performer in the long run. And you're going to look back at one stage and say, oh, look, I didn't have confidence there, but now I can actually rip that song. So it's a matter of having your experience, practicing, making things to a certain point where your confidence is actually at that right stage to say, I can do this and I can do it really well. So you have that's where you start building your confidence. The other thing I'm going to say is that I've talked about this in earlier episodes, and I've spooked this a lot, is that comparison can destroy confidence. So avoid comparing yourself with other artists, because or with other or even with other individuals. Just have to be artists, but individuals. Your trait or your personality is different to everyone, right? We're all unique. So sometimes comparison, well, not sometimes, but the majority of the times, comparison actually kills the confidence, because you'll think that, oh, this person is doing that a bit better than me, and then all of a sudden there's a drop. So when you're playing, you're listening to people at the same time, and you're in that zone of performing. When you see things on social media or you see things live and you think, oh, they're doing it better than me, you can't think that, because that'll destroy your confidence. Because then when you go up, especially if you've got a support act, or if you're part of a festival and there's someone that's performing before you and you're watching him and you're thinking, geez, how am I going to, compare to that? You don't compare it to it. You just do your own thing, and you be what you are, and you go out there and you do your things as confidently as you can, and with the knowledge in your head to say, I can play my stuff, or I can perform my stuff really well to this standard that you've got in your mind, and physically doing it, whether you're singing or playing. So it's very important not to compare, because that's going to be a killer to your confidence, or it can be. Other people probably thrive on that confidence. On the comparison. But for me, it's the comparison. I don't really see it because there's always someone out there that's going to be a fantastic performer or instrumentalist, and you're going to think, oh, geez, what's happening here? But you do what you do, and you do it confidently, and you do it to the point where you are so secure that you're going to be nailing it, that's going to be the performance that you're going to be wanting to do. Now, confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself as well. This is actually a good one. You need to be confident in your talent and in the thing that you're doing. It's about you. You're doing it. You're doing it yourself. You have to tell yourself, I'm gonna be confident of what I'm doing. I'm gonna practice today, and then you have to follow through. Because if you don't follow through, this is where your confidence is going to go downwards as well. If you say, all right, I'm going to practice today, I'm going to practice this stuff today, this repertoire today, and I'm going to practice it for half an hour, and you don't, then that sort of thing of guilt kicks in later, or it can, if you're that sort of a person. And this is where your confidence is also going down with that, in that same sort of direction. If you keep consistency and you promise yourself that I'm going to practice, do it. Don't promise yourself if you're a bit, if you think that you're not going to be able to do it. Just say, look, I'm not going to do any practice today, but I'll do it tomorrow. But follow through every time that you do, and always ensure that you're happy to do it. That you're in that state of mind to, you know what, I'm looking forward to rehearsing. I'm looking forward to bettering myself. I'm looking forward to performing, because that's going to give you the confidence. It's all the positive energy that's coming through. This is going to give you those small wins as well, because your confidence is going to start to enlarge, and it's going to start to get to that point where, you know what, I'm really playing this really well, or the band is playing this really well, and really got a lot of confidence in it. So now when we go out and perform, we're going to smash it, right? It could also be in regards to recording. So if you've got a recording session and you're not confident of that, you haven't got that confidence, I should say, you're going to go in there and you're going to be doing a lot of mistakes. It's probably going to end up costing you a lot of money. But at the end of the day, this is where consistency matters, because if you've rehearsed and you're really confident of that it's going to happen, when you go into a recording studio or up on stage, you're going to be at the best possible level that you can be, because you're so confident. You'll probably make mistakes here and there, or maybe not. But if you do make mistakes, you're just going to learn from it. That's all that's going to happen, right? And if you don't learn from it, well, then you probably need to work on yourself from a different perspective. But those things that are going to build those small wins, and if you're an up and comer, or if you're a starter in the industry, perform in regards to live performance, perform in front of your family, go to open mics, build that confidence. This is where the mistakes actually don't matter to the people that are listening to you, that are watching you. It matters to you because you want to learn from it. But this is where the confidence builds as well. So these layers of confidence that are coming in is that performing, practicing, putting yourself in a positive mind state, not comparing. These are the things that are going to get you to that point where, you know what, you're actually establishing yourself as a confident individual, and wherever you go, you're going to be able to just do what you do at the spare moment. If someone says to you, sing me that song or play this song, you're just going to go for it. So these are those stepping stones that are going to get you there. Sometimes there are other avenues that you can take in regards to building your confidence as well. And these things can involve record yourself regularly, whether it's audio, video, excuse me, just record yourself. Celebrate your improvements and celebrate your performance. Celebrate your improvements instead of perfection. Make sure that you acknowledge yourself on that. And if you're one that apologizes all the time, stop apologizing to yourself, and stop putting yourself down because you've made a mistake. You should never be doing that. Never put yourself in a position where I'm not that good or anything like that, because that you're gonna be really smashing your confidence. So your confidence is going to go downhill all the way if you're going to do that. Focus on communication, right? On emotional communication, instead of just avoiding mistakes. How are you connecting to what you're doing? How does it make you feel? If you were to do it another way, would it make you feel better? So this is the thing that it's all connected. Your energy, your confidence, your demeanor around how you are. You know, you often see people that are confident that they're all upright. They're really got this really great energy, and they're exuding this energy, and you're absorbing all this energy, and you think, geez, I want to be like that. You can. Anyone can, right? It's just sometimes you need to take a phased approach or some stepping stones to get there, right? Another good thing is keep a journal. Journal every day if you can. What did I do today? What things that I like happened today, right? Probably it's not only in your playing, but just in life, generally in life. What did I do today that made me feel really happy, right? How is this gonna be tomorrow? Am I going to get better tomorrow? Of course you are, because once you acknowledge it, that is the biggest thing, right? Because you're aware, you've identified that, you know what, this is really good. I'm really feeling good about this. So that's going to give you more and more confidence as you go further on. Another thing, especially, and this is something that I learned from a very special individual called Noah Kageyama, and he's the author of The Bulletproof Musician. And this is one thing that I've learned from him as well. If you're practicing or if you're playing and you're getting to a point where, you know what, I'm not going to be able to make this riff, I'm not going to be able to play, I'm not going to be able to get that high tone, I'm not going to be able to go through this part of this performance, you won't be able to, because you're telling yourself that you won't be able to. If you've got a mindset where, you know, this hard part is coming up, or am I going to get to this point, you know, in one piece, so to speak, you have to say to yourself, I'm going to nail this point. Now, what that does, it turns your mind into a positive machine. So it starts saying, all right, yeah, you're going to do it. If you're going to say you're going to nail it, well, you're going to nail it. That's the thing that is going to spark that confidence in you as well. So playing this thing that you think that is so hard, you can even try this in your practice sessions. Just say, I'm going to nail this, and sure enough, you will, because you're telling yourself to. So it's a really good piece of advice that I've used as well, from the great Noah Kageyama. So it's a array of things that will help you build this confidence, and you'll become not only a better artist but a better person for it as well. And when you start to have this really positive energy about you, people will notice as well, and they'll be feeding off that energy, yes, but you'll actually give this thing that, you know what, I feel so good about myself, and the confidence and the energy is saying to me, you're in this sort of bliss state. Nothing can go wrong, and nothing will, because you're actually telling yourself that nothing will. So you have to be really mindful about all those things. Never degrade yourself. Always say to yourself, you know what, maybe I didn't play this thing as perfect, or maybe there was a mistake, but I'm going to learn from the mistake, and I'm going to be playing it much better next time, or I'll be playing it perfectly next time. So really keep that in your mind and be positive about everything that you do, and the confidence, you'll find that it'll come itself. I've taught, because I'm a teacher as well, I give guitar lessons. I've taught students how to approach their confidence in their guitar playing even before they play the guitar, and you'll find that it is the one of the most important things, because they probably won't even pick up the guitar if it's otherwise. So you have to build that confidence, that enthusiasm, and sometimes you have to do it for yourself. And this is where you'll have to work on your own sort of state to actually get there. But if you follow these guides that I've just talked about, you'll have no problem in building yourself a very confident, not only persona, but a confident energy about you. And that's going to get you to that peak of confidence. Always, and these are my closing thoughts, always think of yourself as this. I am a unique person, and I'll be doing things the way I can in my capacity. But always, it's not the gear, it's not the luck, it's not just refusing to quit. It's something that you build, right? When you build from that, there's all these things that are coming into progression. Sometimes some people have mentors that help them build, but think of this, that confidence will make you play better all the time. To build that confidence, you need to take things. You need to make sure that you're in that positive energy state. Always making sure that you're practicing, or you can play your things really good up to a certain level. Always praise yourself. Never degrade yourself, and keep promises to yourself as well. If you say you're going to practice, do it. And the other thing, make peace with your mistakes as well. So the things that sometimes gets us all is that when we've made a mistake, it throws us off a little bit, and geez, this is quite bad, or this mistake, especially live, you can't go back and you can't rectify it, you can't fix it. But you know what? Mistakes like wrong notes, equipment failures, which I've been in the middle of, and it's not very good. Forgetting chords if you're not using charts, lyrics, breaking guitar strings, which I've had. These things can really throw you off. But at the end of the day, you have to really take it on as a development. Is it going to happen next time? What do I have to do for it not to happen next time? So take all these things into consideration and be a more confident person. Not only an artist, but be that confident person day in, day out, and that will help you go to the next level. If you've liked what you've listened and what you're watching at the moment, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to Music Pro Services, or visit musicproservices.com. And until next time, ciao.